How long have you been an acupuncturist again?
I've been an acupuncturist for 24 years. I started late in life. I had been in the corporate world and then I stopped to have my family. And then it was time to kind of either go back into the corporate world or follow a calling that I have loved since I was 17 years old. I had my first acupuncture treatment at 17 years old. And I won't say what decade that was, but let's just say it was brand new to the United States. I think Nixon might have still been in office. Let's put it
That's
that way.
awesome. Thank you so much for joining us on another awesome episode of Bioenergetics Beat. I'm Heather Gray, a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner and certified bioenergetic practitioner. And today is brought to you by NIKKI, Unleash the Wellness Within. It's a non-invasive, easily affordable, highly effective approach to wellness within. It's a wearable device that puts frequency better based life in your hands and on your wrist. You're going to want to make sure to stick through to the very end because we have a special giveaway you're not going to want to miss out. But you're also not going to want to miss out on any word that my next guest has to say because she's absolutely amazing. She's a beautiful person inside and out, and I just adore anytime I get to spend with her. So you guys are so blessed to have Dr. Susan Fox on the show today. Let's welcome her. Yay!
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I feel like I should be carrying a little Oscar or something like that.
You deserve one. You're amazing. I mean, I've met a lot of practitioners, throughout this line of work, and there's not a lot of them out there that are very humble,
Ah,
unfortunately, and you are a very real, humble, down to earth, amazing person. And I'm just so grateful to know you.
thank
So,
you. I am
yeah,
equally as grateful to be talking with you and seeing you and sharing what I can with your listening audience and viewing audience.
absolutely. So let's dig in deeper so everybody else can get to know you. They'll be like, well, who is this person? Why is she so cool? Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, what you
Okay.
specialize in, kind of what got you started.
Yeah. Great. Thank you. So, hi, I am Dr. Susan Fox. I'm a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine in the San Francisco Bay Area, where for the last 23 years, I got started a little later. I've been working with people struggling with fertility. That has really been my focus. And whether they're trying to conceive naturally, and a large population in the Bay Area are going through IVF or egg freezing, I have found that our work, our traditional Chinese medicine work, when combined with current science, such as your wearable, can really move the dial in helping these people become healthy in their whole health and then in their reproductive health.
Oh my gosh, that was so beautifully put. Like you literally gave me goosebumps from my
Oh.
feet all the way up because it's so true. We've compartmentalized so much in the medical industry, unfortunately, and everything is connected to everything, folks. And so, pretty much any frequency from the NIKKI device could help, dial in all these different lifestyle factors. But we'll dive deeper into some of the ones, after we come back from the break. But, where was that aha moment for you? Where was it that you were like, "Oh my gosh, we need to be looking at this, this, and this." Was there kind of a pain to purpose story, or was it just something that you learned through
There
training?
are, yeah, I personally don't have a pain to purpose story, but I have witnessed thousands of pain to purpose stories. And so really the aha moment came almost, from without, people coming to me because it was becoming clear that acupuncture in the early 2000s could help women, we'll call them women for them because that's who was coming through my door, improve their IVF outcomes. And they're investing, boy, at that time they were taking out second mortgages and investing so much of their financial and personal and relationship health that I thought, okay, there's something here. And so I wanted to do a deeper dive. And sure enough, there's something here. And as you say, the energetics, we are energetic beings. And so the idea of, I can put a needle in someone and it will change the energetics such that they have better endocrine function, circulatory function, stress reducing function? The answer is yes, we can. And so that just began my deep dive, and I just rolled up my sleeves. And it is a complex, complicated field, but some of the solution is not that challenge. Well, it can be challenging because it's lifestyle challenges, but it's simple, even if sometimes initially it's not that easy. And I love that because it gives the person agency. Like I can make the change for myself for the health of my baby, for the health of the future. And that's where I get a little activism oriented, is I really believe that this is not just about your positive pregnancy test. You're the one bringing the future generation of leaders into our world. So let's bring healthy brains and healthy bodies into the world.
Oh, absolutely. I was funny. I was on a call with I work with Dr. Jen in the cancer field, and I was on a sales call for a woman who wants to get pregnant but can't because of her cancer diagnosis, and she's wanting to clean up her body. And
Mhm.
she was kind of looking at this a little on the one-sided side, and I'm like, speaking from a mother who had Lyme disease and mold toxicity and heavy metals and autoimmune diseases when I was pregnant, and I know I passed along a sick kid. I've
Mhm.
seen him struggle through his whole life. He's on the
Mhm.
spectrum, all these things. It's like you don't want that mom's guilt. Mom's guilt comes regardless, but you
Right.
don't want that on top of it, right? So, as a new person who's looking to get healthy to have just a baby, don't be just looking at being able to have a baby. You need to be looking at having a healthy baby, right? So,
Uh-huh.
I'm
Uh-huh.
just this
And
talk.
yeah, right. I know. Boom. I had the good fortune of interviewing Dr. Tom O'Brien on a summit that I had just aired a couple of weeks ago, and he shared a Harvard study that demonstrated that umbilical cord blood has 4 times the toxic load as mother's blood. And so you're talking about a being who doesn't even have barriers formed yet and is swimming in just toxic waste. So some of it are forever chemicals and so forth, but any degree to which we can clean up our toxic load is the first gift that we can give to our babies and our future. We have a responsibility beyond our babies.
Oh, absolutely. This is awesome.
Mhm.
Like, I don't think we've had an acupuncturist on the show before, but actually next week's episode is an acupuncturist, and then
Uh-huh.
yours will episode around the end of May. So but I love this. I don't know why I never thought about, seeking after you folks to begin with, because yes, you guys are playing with the meridians. You guys are playing with the energetic fields of the body. So it
Mhm.
just blends so beautifully the two worlds. So how
Mhm.
long have you been an acupuncturist again?
I've been an acupuncturist for 24 years. I started late in life. I had been in the corporate world and then I stopped to have my family. And then it was time to kind of either go back into the corporate world or follow a calling that I have loved since I was 17 years old. I had my first acupuncture treatment at 17 years old. And I won't say what decade that was, but let's just say it was brand new to the United States. I think Nixon might have still been in office. Let's put it
That's
that way.
awesome. So
So
you're an OG.
I'm an OG. I certainly am. And
That's
so when it was time to go back to work and I had followed this line of medicine in my own health and in my family's health, I thought it's time. So I just, did the big pivot and figuring, time passes no matter what you're doing. Let's do the thing that I kind of really put the skin suit on in the first place and came into the world to serve.
Man, that was worth the price of admission. Like truth bomb, boom, right
Yeah.
there. That's
Yeah.
incredible. I love it.
Yeah.
So, how old were you, if you don't mind me asking, when
I
you
don't
went
mind.
to
I
school?
started acupuncture school at 40. I am
Okay,
66 years old now.
I'm 47, and I'm actually thinking about it. So
Fant
that's why I was asking.
Fantastic. I was 60 when I went back for my doctorate. So, because back when I got my master's, they didn't even offer a doctorate again. I know I sound like I ride on the back of a, triceratops or something. But but truly, this has been an evolving field. It is doing a beautiful job presently of merging with conventional medicine. I call Chinese medicine the true traditional medicine, any of them, Chinese, Ayurvedic, any of the real, you know, traditional medicines. We are really able to explain modern science in a way that we always innately knew, because modern science, as much as I'm a big fan of research and double blind, placebo controlled everything, the facts that they prove existed before they proved it. So I, this whole argument that any of these traditional medicines aren't worth their salt because they aren't following double blind placebo controlled studies, I kind of give a little bit of a talk to the hand around that, because again, like prove what already exists, and hooray for you.
Now, do you guys see why I love her so much? Like, no, and we need to get an AI generated picture of you on the back with a triceratops, triceratops with like a
With my
some
sword being an acupuncture needle.
exactly, exactly. I'm like, that would be amazing.
Oh,
I want to
funny.
see that. All right, well, this is a
Um,
good spot. We're going to stop for a commercial break. When we come back, I want to dive deeper into the best prep for pregnancy. I want to dive deeper into the nuts and bolts, how that looks different from, other modalities. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I have struggled with sleep for a while, so I do know that it affects everything, but having insomnia, that's something that I would never wish upon anyone. Like until you don't realize how important sleep is until you lose it, and when you lose it, you really really realize how much it affects everything. It affects everything within the next day, and then a few days after that, it just like it creates this vicious cycle that you can't get out of. And so that was huge for me. And that was one of my biggest priorities of 2022 is trying to get my sleep back on track and at least just sleeping for a few hours every single night or not waking up every hour on the hour. And the very first day that I wore the device, I slept through the night, which is amazing.
NIKKI Wellness Technology. Delivering frequency enhanced health. We are NIKKI.com.
Welcome back. Are you excited to jump in the second part? I'm, don't not having no babies anytime soon, so this part doesn't interest me, but having a healthier generation come in absolutely interests me because what's going on with our kids right now, like folks, for the first time ever in human history, the life expectancy is gone down. It's gone backwards. Our kids are not expected to live longer than us. Like if that's not a freaking wake-up call to you, I don't know what is. And so there is a big part of me that's like, why are people bringing kids into this toxic world? But really, we need to, procreation's still going to happen. So how do we do this in a healthy manner so we can bring in a healthier generation? So yay, kudos for having this conversation. So let's dive deeper. What is some of the best prep for pregnancy?
You bet. And if I may, I just want to piggyback on what you had said, because there may be a large percentage of the listening audience saying, well, that's not my, I'm not there. I'm not interested. I'm not there and so forth. But what I will say is, someone who is, because
Mm.
1 in 5 people are struggling with fertility challenge. And so if you know 5 people who are of reproductive age, then you know somebody who is struggling. And a fertility challenge infers a perimenopausal and menopausal challenge. It's just the
Mm.
walk on the bridge. You're just a little further across the bridge, but your ovaries are still, important. And so taking care, if you're a person with ovaries, taking care of your ovarian health now and your hormonal health now will help you regardless of where you are on the spectrum. It will always help you. Diminished ovarian reserve is a natural phenomenon. However, we don't have to have our ovaries crap out on us.
Thank you for bringing that up because I just heard recently too the correlation between infertility and cancer as you get older, breast cancer especially. So absolutely, there's so many of these things linked. Like I say all the time, our body talks to us in whispers,
Yes.
right? And then we don't listen and we don't listen, and then it's a cosmic 2x4 upside the head. So
Exactly.
right, no matter how common a symptom
Exactly.
may be, it is never normal. So all right, let's dig
Exactly.
deeper.
So back to best prep for pregnancy. So as I shared, just a couple of weeks ago, I hosted an amazing event where I was so humbled and honored to have about 40 guest expert speakers from around the globe come in with their various perspectives. And my purpose, I got my knickers in a twist a bit last year, a year and a half ago, around the impression out there in social media land that it was an either or. Natural conception, good; IVF, bad; IVF, good; natural conception, bad. Don't waste your time preparing. And I thought, that's neither of those statements are true. And those of us who are really in the field really are arms linked in wanting to make sure that you are best prepped for a healthy pregnancy. So when you distill it down, whether or not you're trying to conceive naturally, whether or not you are planning an IVF, whether or not you've had failed IVFs or are planning egg freezing for a future insurance policy, some of the fundamentals, and again, traditional medicines, are consistent throughout. And they really have to do with what's your environmental toxic exposure. And sometimes it's a matter of just your symptoms. If you're, suffering from headaches, migraines, brain fog, gut issues, insomnia, you probably are having some toxic exposure. You can go into a deeper dive and maybe get tested for what is your toxic load. But the cleanup is kind of similar. And I try not to get too how shall I say, too rigorous, if you will, about, how long someone needs to clean up, because people have different time space continuum needs. Some people would say, I don't have 2 years to clean it up. I will lose my chance to have a pregnancy. So I say, start now. 28 days is a good start. 120 days is the time frame within which an egg goes from what's called the primordial pool to ovulation. So if you can give yourself 3 months to 4 months, you're well on your way to cleaning things up. And so it's nutrition, right? I'm talking to a functional nutritionist. So, eat organic, choose hormone free, all the things, wild caught, grass fed, grass finished, free range, all the things. And then make sure you are having those meals throughout the day spaced evenly so that you're not having blood sugar dips. I know I'm probably going to get some intermittent fasters, a little resistant right now, but especially if you are, wanting to preserve your female hormones, you do want to have a little protein right at the beginning of your day. So your fast from sleep time to wake time kind of could be enough fast if you're finishing your meals at about 6 or 7 and then going to bed at 10ish or so. You're getting that intermittent fasting in. Hydration. I just listened to an amazing researcher. She's over at the Buck Institute for Aging. Her name is Jennifer Garrison, Dr. Jennifer Garrison, and her focus is on diminished ovarian reserve. And that was one of the things she said: drink more water, drink more clean water. We are chronically dehydrated. So, like, just get your 3 liters a day and, have it done by 6 o'clock or so. So you're not up peeing all night, because sleep is another really important consideration in making sure your circadian flows are consistent, and how you wake up affects how you go to sleep. How you go to sleep affects how you wake up, and all the time between. And then for Chinese medicine, and for fertility in particular, we know we need some supplementation. Regrettably, doing the best you can may not be enough for when you're trying to grow another human in your body. So you do need good quality supplementation. And so please, folks, this is to say, don't go to that online store where anybody can have any kind of store, buy from wherever, store it improperly, and resell it to you so that you're now taking rancid products. Please don't do that. See a qualified practitioner, and I'm sure, Heather, you have a whole host of folks that you can recommend, and I hope that I'm on that list as well. And then again, particularly for Chinese medicine and for fertility, my secret sauce is targeted circulation. So we do need regular circulation, walking in nature. We use Qigong exercises in my course, but we also need targeted circulation. And so this is referred to as transcutaneous electrical acupoint stimulation. We call it TEAS. And it's a way of getting acupuncture at home, so you don't have to run to another series of appointments, to your ovaries and uterus from the end of your menstrual bleed until ovulation, in a time where you're trying to conceive naturally in that cycle, or through your egg retrieval cycle if you're on an IVF cycle, or if you're going to pass on that month until your next menstrual bleed. You just don't do it when you're bleeding. This has shown to increase live birth success rates by 42%.
Holy cow.
That's it. Thank you. I mean, boom. Like, that is really not anything
So
to kind of.
what is that though? So you said it's at home. You don't have to go. So walk me
Exactly.
through. What does
Exactly.
that look like?
It looks like this. There's a device, a TENS unit device, and then there are protocols that another researcher colleague, friend of mine, I hired her to be on faculty at my course to go through. These are the protocols. There are 3 different protocols that are spaced every other day, that they're acupuncture points, that you apply these TENS units to, this TENS leads to, and you just give it a little bit of a turn on, either at usually at bedtime, because it's very relaxing. People like to do it right before bed or first thing in the morning. That it's a way of making sure you're getting the messages to these very deep organs we want the blood to be flowing. We want the organs to be functioning properly so that they're receiving the hormonal signaling either naturally or through the meds so that the body can respond better.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's
No, that
crazy. It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah.
totally makes sense.
hmm
Yeah, so like within the last, 5-10 minutes that we have, what, if you could leave us, with one or two more little nuggets, like things that
Yeah.
people need to start thinking about or things that they can start implementing now to
Yeah.
start cleaning themselves up.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, what you can do now, you don't need to talk to me. You can take a look at your pantry or your refrigerator. What's in there? How healthy are these things? Usually the pantry needs to get cleaned out almost entirely anyway, so consider that. And then realize that the inflammatory process of like excessive processed foods and sugars create inflammation throughout your body down to the level of your follicles. Those inflammatory chemicals can be found in the follicular fluid in which that egg is growing. So here again, you're either putting the egg in a toxic pool or you're putting the fetus in a toxic pool. Cut it out. Then look in your cabinet for your personal care products. What are you brushing your teeth with? What are you flossing your teeth with? Is it loaded with petroleum? Because that's not good for you. Duh. Or are there chemicals in the shampoos that you're using in your hair? Are you using a fragrance on your body? Please don't. Or in your home, please don't, because those fragrances are chemicals. Do you have wrinkle resistant clothing? Please don't put dryer sheets in your dryer. What are you washing with? All these are things you can clean up really easily. And if that feels overwhelming, one at a time, just one at a time, depending upon your timeline, because if one at a time, you may not, you may argue, I only have a couple of months, then I'll be like, everything at one time, just get it done because you'll feel better for it. So I hope that I
Oh
can
no, that's
I
huge.
can
That was
prattle
huge.
on, as you
No, I
know.
know that was huge. Beautiful. I love it. No, when I work with clients, I tell them the same thing. Even if it's you focus on 2, 3 things a month, right? That a year from now you can look back and you'll be like, holy cow, look at all the things I've cleaned up. Like my life doesn't even look the same anymore.
Yeah.
So
And
small
by the
steps
way,
add
I'm
up.
sleeping better. I'm
Yeah,
pooping
yeah,
better.
exactly.
Ah.
Exactly. I know. It's so incredible. So we got the shameless plug time of the show. So where can people find you if they want to know more information?
Thank you. I love a shameless plug. So my website is called healthuniversity.co, and university is spelled Y-O-U. So it's health, Y-O-U, university.co, because it's the University of You, within which there are all of the courses that I offer. There's a free master detox. There's a free 5-element Chinese medicine fertility quiz, the report with which will give you some actionable items. Like these are the foods you might want to choose based upon, are you an element of liver, lung, heart, kidney, spleen, with the digestive system. I just named the organ systems, not the elements, but they relate to elements. So that's where you can find me, healthuniversity.co. If you want to just jump to yourfertilityquiz.com, because that's an easier thing to remember, you'll find your way there as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And make sure to also go to wearenikki.com/podcast and enter in BioBeats for 10% off. And
Yay.
because we love our customers so much, the way we show appreciation is we give away a NIKKI device with a wellness at a frequency, a $598 value on every episode. So make sure to go check out Dr. Susan on the show notes and make sure to go find out how to enter on the show notes. Good luck to you. Thanks for joining us and make sure to have a healthy day.
Thank you.
The very first day that I wore the device, I slept through the night, which is amazing.
It looks like a little watch, but it's actually a frequency device. It's bioenergetic, so it has this little frequency light situation that goes into your arm, and it pretty much makes an immediate difference.
So there's like a sleep mode when I go mountain biking. I throw it on an energy booster. Once I'm done mountain biking, I actually switch it to the other mode they have, is pain and relief.
When I'm in a stressful situation and I put it on, it helps me almost immediately. I immediately feel calmer, whether that's a frequency or me knowing that it's working or knowing that it's helping in addition to that.
One of my buddies was like, do not discount this. This is an amazing device. You've got to give it a chance.
It's got so many options. I'm just going to go over, it's like a menu that you can choose. It's so easy to use. You just click on what you like. For example, it's got travel, pain relief, energy boost, allergies.
I really, really love this device. In fact, I have two of them because when one is charging, I want to wear the other because I'm never without it.
It will never give you something where your body doesn't need, and it is not natural. That's what I love about the device.
Put it on focus, maybe halfway through the day as I was losing focus. And within about 10 minutes of turning on, I feel like my brain is just like, I'm connected. Like, wow.
Trying all the frequencies and I love it. The one I'm using right now out on my walk is Energy. It just energizes me. And I'm finding that I've got more stamina and more energy than I thought I would.
My NIKKI helps me sleep better at night and helps me feel less stressed.
I really been enjoying it. So I've noticed my energy's been up. I've been sleeping better.
So the NIKKI is one price, and then you pay for the frequency sets separately. So you can get the wellness one, which is awesome. I really do love the new Lyme frequencies so much. It's incredible.
NIKKI Wellness Technology. Delivering frequency enhanced health. We are NIKKI.com. The views, information, and opinions expressed in this content are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of Freemedica. Freemedica Technologies, Inc. and its employees are not responsible, nor verifies accuracy any of the information contained in the following content. The primary purpose of this content is to educate and inform. This content does not constitute medical or other professional advice or services.